Hello everyone, back to today's second video. Going to have a look at the weather next 10 to 14 days. For today's second video, day 10 will take us to around the 27th of September, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. Around a couple of weeks, I can get us into the start of October. Have a look at Beijing Climate Centre at the end of the video next 40 days. That takes us right to the end of October. Would you believe it? So big thank you to Dylan, my good friend Dylan, for sending those through to me, and we'll go through those charts very shortly. Beginning in the tropical Atlantic, it's all going on still, and we'll have a look at what's happening there very shortly. Just say that the first video released today was the European Outlook, so that of course is the weather next week, 10 days in detail, day by day detail across Europe. So have a look at that and see what's in store. This video will cover the same sort of time frames as well, of course. So we live streamed last night from 6 o'clock, actually. So did a nice live stream. I think it peaked at around 120 concurrent viewers, something like that. So it's another big stream. So if you wasn't able to watch it live, I appreciate people are very busy on a Wednesday evening. So if you wasn't able to watch it live, then you can watch it on catch up on demand any time. You know, it's going to be on the website for the next few days at GavsWeatherVids.com. It'll be kept on the YouTube channel indefinitely. So you'll be able to have a watch of that whenever you would like. Big thanks to all of you for checking into that live stream. I forgot to thank one of my moderators at the end of the live stream. So I was very tired by the end of the live stream. So big thanks to all of moderators who moderated on the live stream yesterday. Right, so let's get on with the video then. So here we go. We're going to begin in the tropical Atlantic. So we've got various disturbance areas, of course. We still have this yellow X up here between sort of Portugal and the Azores. That's disturbance 3. There's only a 10% chance of cyclone formation with that in the next 2 days and in the next 5 days as well. I don't think we need to worry too much about that. We've got, so let's go down to this red X just here. That one's developed a lot actually since yesterday. That's disturbance 1, and there's a 90% chance of cyclone formation with that in the next 2 days, and a 90% chance in the next 5 days as well. That's going to move into Mexico. That's going to meander its way into southwestern Gulf of Mexico for the next few days before moving slowly northeastward on Friday and Saturday. So let's see what I said about that. Thunderstorm activity has continued to increase and become better organised this morning in association with a well-defined low-pressure system located over the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. Overall winds are gradually becoming more conducive for development. And if this recent development trend continues, a tropical depression or a tropical storm, I think that should be, could form later today. The lows are expected to meander over the southwestern Gulf of Mexico for the next day or so before moving slowly northward to northeastward on Friday and Saturday. An Air Force Reserve reconnaissance aircraft is scheduled to investigate this disturbance this afternoon. So I thought that was going to go into Mexico actually, but actually that sounded a little bit more worrying for like the Gulf Coast of the States. So I think like days ago that's forecast to move in that sort of direction. Would have been very bad for Mexico, but Mexico's gain is perhaps going to be the Gulf Coast's loss, because it looks like this is now going to start moving in that direction, or possibly in that direction. Of course, it could start to develop over Gulf of Mexico, so that is well be one to watch. That could become very significant over the weekend and into next week. We also have this orange X just here. We've got an orange X just there. That was disturbance 2, a 40% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 days, a 60% chance in the next 5 days. We've got Tropical Storm Vicky just here. I think Vicky is pretty much done with now. Just click on Vicky to confirm that. So yeah, currently, like Tropical Storm, it's going to become a tropical pressure and go post-tropical by the weekend. So that's pretty much done with. Vicky's pretty much done with. Sally up here is a tropical depression. That was a hurricane yesterday. It's now down to a tropical depression. Sally will continue to weaken and become post-tropical as it moves like through Georgia, South Carolina, and out into the Atlantic. And then finally, we've got Teddy. So let's just have a look at Teddy, see what the latest is with Hurricane Teddy. So Hurricane Teddy is now a Category 2 hurricane, giving maximum sustained winds of 12 miles per hour. Going to become a major hurricane. Teddy will become a major hurricane as we go into the weekend. Current position of Teddy is just there. Teddy will become a major hurricane by Friday, heading towards Bermuda. Does weaken a little bit by the time it gets to Bermuda early next week on the forecast anyway, but will still give a very, very significant impact to Bermuda by the look of it, and then moving up to here. Now, Teddy may start to move towards those far northeastern states. It's possible Teddy will do that. We won't know until later next week. Just have a very quick look at the forecast wind, maximum wind gusts with Teddy, and then we'll move on. So forecast maximum wind gusts with Teddy peaking in 36-48 hours time at around 120 miles per hour. That's Category 3. Yesterday we've been forecast to get to Category 4, I think. But now it looks like that's Category 3, I think. But anyway, very, very significant. Very, very significant Category 3 hurricane, major Category 3 hurricane Teddy. On the way to Bermuda. Whoops, we don't want that. We want to get rid of that and get rid of that too. Sorry about that, everybody. Right, so that's what you'll tell you about everything that's going on there. Let's have a look at temperature and temperature. So the CT is currently standing provisional to the 16th of September at 15.6. It's an anomaly of 1.5 degrees above average. That's probably about as high as it's going to get, I think. I don't think that's going to get much higher than that. May put on another 10th of a degree at some point over the weekend, but I think that's about as high as it's going to get. And then next week, I think it could be starting to look at the CT beginning to drop. And so I think we are seeing signs more. More about that in a moment. But I think the CT is going to come out in the 14s. I think the CT will come out somewhere in the 14s. So I think we'll be above average. It will be like above average, but not significantly so. Not not excessively hot for this September. So one of the things we look at in winter updates, of course, is if we have a very warm September, that can be one of the pointers towards a milder winter a lot of the time. And that would be like a CT in the 15. So if we just keep a CT there through the rest of the month, 15.6, then for the winter, that would be a bad sign. As I think we're going to finish up in the 14s, so you will finish up above average, but not excessively so. That's not too bad. So I know quite a few of you have been worrying about a very hot September and what that could mean for the winter. But I don't think this is going to be a very hot September, despite the fact we have had some very hot weather in the past few days. I think the CT will eventually finish up probably somewhere mid to upper 14s, but it's not going to be excessive. It's not going to be an excessively high CT number. And so that will bring that will bring the prospect of something colder for this winter, potentially, not a guarantee, but potentially into play again, rather than if the CT was in the 15s or the 16s, and then that would have been really bad news for the coming winter. So if you've been worrying about that, where the CT will finish up this September in terms of what it means for winter, I wouldn't worry. I think we're going to finish up in the 14s. This is the reason why. So autumn is about to be unleashed by the look of it. So these are the 500 middle height on road charts of Penn State University for the next week, 10 days. You've got the ECMWF on the top, and the GFS, which we're going to have a look at in a moment, is on the bottom. So 500 millibars in there in active high pressure, low pressure are being moved around by a jet stream running above. Red extrapolates to high pressure, blue to low pressure. Look at this. It's been a long time since we've seen this. Very long time. A deep trough of below average heights, low pressure, is centred almost right over top of the UK. Jet streams digging southwards as well. That is autumn. Autumn is being unleashed there. We're descending into autumn in the 7 to 10 day time frame, which gets us into the last week of September. And what's more, the GFS is in complete agreement for a change. GFS is also in complete agreement about this. Deep trough of below average heights over the northwest of Europe. Jet stream is digging southwards. We're on the cool side of the jet stream. We're in a trough of low pressure. Autumn is here. Autumn has arrived, and so that'll be very unsettled. There'll be heavy showers, longer spells of rain, and temperatures will be taking a very significant knock as well. We see this on the upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles from GFS model as well. So the red line is 30-year upper air temperature average for London from old wet to central. Yes, we're warmer than average through the next few days. So going into the middle of next week, temperatures stay above average. But then look at that drop in temperature through the second half of next week into the last weekend of September, which I think is 26th, 27th of September up to day 10. Anything beyond it actually looks quite cool, really. So we've got around another week of above average temperatures to go, maybe a little bit less than a week, and then the drop in temperature comes. Also telling much more unsettled as well, so plenty of dry weather coming up over the next couple of days. Could be some heavy showers, maybe some longer spells of rain. This is for London, remembering far south beach. So it could be some heavy showers or longer spells of rain for the far south, like over the weekend. A little bit of uncertainty about that. But then more definitively into the last week of September, our wettest spell of the month on the way, if that is right. Significant precipitation spikes with a drop in temperature, turning much cooler and much more unsettled. By the beginning of October, it might start to turn a little bit drier again by then, but certainly some significant wet weather coming up as we move into the last week of September, if that is correct. Temperature anomalies on the 7th to 25th September, very close to average, a little bit above average still, but it does look as though the warm spell is running out of road. Precipitation anomalies from the 17th to 25th September, drier than average, really, through most parts of the country. Latest wind flow map from earthnorthschool.net showing high pressure is in control. So you can see that at the moment still the jet stream and areas of low pressure are to our north and west. Jet stream being pushed away to the north as well. But through all of here, this is where we've got high pressure. High pressure is dominating through these areas. So yeah, a lot of dry weather, a lot of dry weather coming up over the next few days. And the jet stream is still away to our north and west for now. Excuse me, that's how the UK Met is looking for Sunday. High pressure reaching through the country on Sunday, bringing loads of dry weather. But there is a trough of low pressure to our south that might threaten some heavy showers to southern parts of the country. High pressure still more or less in control on Monday, but weakening. Tuesday sees our first weather front for quite some time, moving in from off the Atlantic. That's a cold front. It will probably be a relatively weak affair, bringing some rain to the far north and west. Very little, I would have thought, down in the south, but it is heralding the change. So that by Wednesday, here we go. Low pressure is beginning to break through. There's Teddy, by the way, up there. Teddy is up towards Newfoundland, just probably giving a little bit of reinvigoration to the jet stream and helping push these areas of low pressure along. And so, yeah, it looks like we're turning more unsettled by the middle of next week. And temperatures begin to turn cooler as well. GFS looks like that again. A ridge is through the country on Sunday, bringing lots of dry weather away from the south where some heavy showers are possible. Still pretty dry and warm on Monday. A weak cold front moves in on Tuesday. That's starting the change from late summer to the descent into autumn. That's beginning the descent into autumn, if you like. Will be quite a weak front, but producing some rain from the north and west and changing the air mass. That's Wednesday through to Thursday when low pressure begins to move in from off the Atlantic, quite a significant area of low pressure, which will bring showers along with spells of rain. There's Teddy just there. Let's see what GFS does with Teddy. So we develop a very significant area of low pressure over the top of the country by the second half next week. 25th September, very significant area of low pressure over the country, bringing showers along with spells of rain. Temperatures are taking a real plummet as well. And what this GFS run actually does is turns the winds into the north. So what it does with Teddy is it stalls Teddy around here to the southwest of Greenland. And what this does, it promotes a ridge in the North Atlantic. So we don't get a direct hit from Teddy, actually, but we do have impacts from it. It does affect our weather because as it stalls around here, it sends warm air advection up towards Greenland, which develops this ridge in the middle of the Atlantic. And the upshot of that is actually to bring a shot of northerly winds. That's turning wind into the north by day 10, certainly between 7th of September. So not only are we talking about cool and unsettled weather, we're actually talking about quite cold and unsettled weather. That'll probably bring the first snowflakes to the Scottish mountains. Can you believe? I didn't get the first snowflakes onto the Scottish mountains from that by the 27th of September. Low pressure begins to move away into Scandinavia. We start to build this ridge up from the southwest. That's a cold ridge, though. Probably bring night frost, I would have thought, particularly to the northern half of the country. As the upper air temperature, they've taken a real knock, real plummet in the upper air temperatures. As we get to day 10, we look like 2 weeks out, I should say, which is the 3rd of October. We're back under high pressure, but it's a different ridge. It's a very different ridge to what we have had. It's a much cooler ridge. Winds are in from the east. They're not going to be particularly warm in October. So generally quite a cool start to October under that area of high pressure. The GEM looks like that. Again, the ridge is through the country on Sunday. Lots of dry, very warm weather away from the south with a few funny showers are possible. Still mainly dry and quite warm on Monday. The change begins to happen on Tuesday. Weak cold front moving in from the Atlantic. Then we go into proper low pressure as we get through to the second half next week. Yes, we're properly autumnal then. Wet and windy through the second half next week. Cool as well. And we just keep these very unsettled conditions going up to day 10. It gradually starts to turn colder too. The GM is producing a proper Greenland high here, which is quite unusual for September. So a proper block setting up over Greenland. Low pressure extending away to the east of the country. Winds pulling into the north. Again, with the GM. Or if it could roll on another 24 hours, they would anyway. So, what a change that is next week. Such a big change coming up next week, if that is right. But CFS, by the way, has been channeling this for quite some time. So, if it comes off, we'll be hats off to the CFS, I think. ECM looks like that again. High pressure is dominating the weather on Sunday. Lots of dry and very warm weather away from the south. Monday, dry, mainly warm. Weak cold front on Tuesday starts to bring a change. Wednesday, here we go. Low pressure descending in from the Atlantic. Autumn descending with it. Thursday and Friday, low pressure is dominating. Very cool and unsettled with showers along the spells of rain. Heading up towards day 10, winds are turning into the north. It's cool, it's unsettled. It's actually probably quite cold for the northern half of the country anyway, with the first snowflakes possible on the tops of the Scottish mountains. Unbelievable. So this is Precipitation Forecast based on that ECM run from TomatoShow.com. Loads of dry weather coming up over the next few days. There will be some showers flirting with the south over the weekend. They don't really make inroads north of the M4 really. Into the early part of next week, remain dry and warm too. Here's that cold front though. Tuesday, cold front coming into the northwest. That's heralding the change. It's going to be quite a weak cold front as it pushes southwards Tuesday to Wednesday, but it does bring some rain in the south and southeast. But what it's really doing is changing the air mass. So actually, the cold front peps up a little bit around middle of next week in the southeast corner. But look at all this wet and windy weather piling into the west. And so whether the cold front is active or not doesn't really matter. It's changing the air mass. And so we go into the second half next week with showers or longer spells of rain, strong winds too, and just a very autumnal flavour to the weather from the second half next week. If you're waiting for autumn, I see the comments, I know what you're saying on the videos. If you're waiting for autumn, if this is right, you haven't got too much longer to wait. These are the options on the table in the ECM Ensembles today for day 10, which gets us to the 27th of September. 24 members of the ECM Ensembles with low pressure over top of the country, very unsettled. 15 with low pressure over and to the north of the country, winds are in from the west. And 12, again, deep trough low pressure over top of the country. That one also has a ridge of above average heights going through the North Atlantic into Greenland. This one does too, actually. So all options looking very unsettled now at day 10. And what happens in 2 weeks' time, this is the option that we've got. This is for the 2nd of October. All members of the ECM Ensembles, all 51 members of them, have the high pressure out in the Atlantic. Probably some sort of a shallow trough through here. The main thing about that is that it looks quite cool. That looks like a cool start to October, maybe a very cool start to October. Maybe even frost levels of cool start to October, but certainly a chilly start to October. And maybe even some showery rain for eastern parts of the country as well. Big changes to come if all of this is right. Finally, just show you the Bayesian Climate Centre for the next 40 days. So these are 500 millibar heights, broken down to 10-day periods. First 10-day period will take us from the 16th to 25th of September. Big thank to my good friend Dylan Holbrook for sending these through to me. Coming 10 days, high pressure over and to the east of the country. Still a lot of dry weather. We know that over time that ridge is weakening, but for the anomaly for the coming 10 days, still more or less under high pressure. Big change for the next 10-day period, though. This is going to be the 26th of September, 5th of October. Low pressure back in business. Jet stream coming southwards as well. So yes, autumnal weather from the end of September into the start of October. Next 10-day period takes us from the 6th to the 15th of October, with again low pressure to the north, a little bit of high pressure to the south. Generally, that's looking quite westerly and unsettled as well. The first half of October. Possibly going back towards higher pressure for the final 10-day period, 16th, 25th of October. Heights rising a little bit to the south. Jet streams moving northwards. That could be going into a warmer phase of weather and a little bit drier as well. Maybe that's like St. Martin's summer period. So my birthday is the 17th of October, as you know. Generally, any time from like the 15th through to the 22nd of October often covers the period of my birthday as well. Actually, we get what we call St. Martin's summer, which is one last little burst of warmth. One last little burst of warmth. Not normally excessive, but normally into the upper teens, something like that, Celsius. And it just turns warmer and drier for a few days around that sort of third week of October. Very often, it's one of the sort of singularities of the weather that we notice quite a lot around there. We call it St. Martin's summer. And that's a classic sort of classic example of that. If we could run on to a final 10-day period, which will take us to the end of October into start of November, we would probably find things turning much more unsettled again and probably cooler. Right, so that's it for your video for today. So the main storyline, of course, at the moment is like watching this potential descent into autumn. So you've been waiting for autumn. It looks like this time next week we're descending into it. But we shall see. We shall see. It's all sort of like a week away, so it's possible that we will have further changes from this. But today, anyway, all of those models are in agreement that things turn much cooler and much more unsettled through the course of next week. Right, if you enjoyed the video, then please give us a like on the video. Let us know in the comments what you think. Make sure you subscribe to the GavsWeatherVids YouTube channel. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. And that would be absolutely great if you can do that. We are hovering around 7,450 subscribers at the moment. Got to put on another 50 subs to get 7,500. So not many more to go, but when we get 7,500 subscribers, then we will begin the grind to 8k. I will formally begin the grind to 8k subscribers when we put on after we put on the next 50. Get 7,500, and then I shall be on the march, or will be on the march, to 8k subscribers. So if you haven't subbed the channel yet, please do so, and let's get 7,500 and begin the grind to 8k. But yeah, please like, subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. If everyone who's subscribed brings a friend, then we will, of course, get to 8k that much quicker. Okay, so I think that's it for your videos for today. Tomorrow we're going to have JMA Friday, of course, month-end look ahead with Japanese CFS models, and another 10 to 14 day update. Will we still be seeing signs of the descent into autumn tomorrow? You shall find out. But for this video, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.